On today's show, singer-songwriter Dau Brazil and Luna of Rising Moon Belly Dancing. Join me as we learn more about these hidden gems of London. Welcome to London's Hidden Talent. I'm your host, Jennifer Martino. Here in London, Ontario, our art and culture scene is thriving thanks to the fusion of lifelong Londoners and talented artists from around the world who have made this community their home. Together, we will get to know the people who are bringing our stages, galleries, and streets to life. First up, we have Dau Brazil. A singer-songwriter and event organizer, Dalbiana Oliveira has infused the local music scene with performances and events inspired by Brazilian culture and music. Dau, thank you for joining us on London's Hidden Talent. And I'm really excited for people to learn a little more about your music, but also about the growing Brazilian community and culture in our city. People often call London Londombia, but I think we're going to need a new name because the Brazilian presence seems to be growing all the time between community events and then the restaurants that we have around town and the music that we can hear. And so it's just really lovely to be able to talk to someone from Brazil and to learn a little more about you as an artist, but also about the culture and the growing Brazilian cultural scene in our community.
Yeah, it's definitely, thank you for having me here, Jenny, and it's such a pleasure to be chatting with you about the work that's being done for the community. So a few years ago, I started creating smaller events for the Brazilian people to get together. I still find that the Brazilian community in London a bit dispersed. So with these shows and events, the idea was to not only know of other Brazilians that were here in London in the area, but also to connect everyone in a way, because I think when you're coming to a country from a different country, you always have something to offer. And sometimes this is a good thing for the community as a whole, whether you're a professional or as a doctor or a plumber or an electrician. So it's always nice to capture that aspect of people's lives and bring that to community to just make it more out of just a presence of another Brazilian here in town. So, and because music is something that always attracts Brazilian people, generally speaking, like most South American cultures, or most cultures actually, because it's a universal thing. So through these events, I started creating sort of a wave, I guess, if I could say that, and that actually gained a lot of force in the past 2 years with the carnivals that I've promoted in the city every year. One was at Soho's, and then later on we had it at Club Fuego. And then most recently we had the Festa Junina downtown on June 22nd, which was a tremendous success. And I'm so proud of everyone that was involved in creating that. I think it was a good thing, not only for the community itself, but for London, because now people in London are talking about, look at that Brazilian music. I just love it. So I'm just glad that things are happening that way, and we're definitely community building more than ever, I think.
When you started with music, did you imagine that you would like to create and release your own music as well as hosting cultural events, or did those things come in a different order?
I think because I used music as a vector to reach out to folks that enjoy the Brazilian music overall, whether they're Canadian, Brazilian, Polish, or Italian, because when I go to my events and I sing, I always have great feedback, and that's why I mean the music is a universal thing, because people necessarily don't understand what the lyrics are, but music is so precious that makes that event or that moment special in their lives, or they have a great perception of that. And so I think the music aspect started, and now it has gained a larger shape, in which sometimes I even tell people, like, maybe I shouldn't be organizing and performing the same event, because all of a sudden I'm not fulfilling the roles the way I want to fulfill. as much as I want to just show up or on my events or whatever events with my guitar, sit down, play, and enjoy and exchange that energy and vibe with the crowd, um, I think organizing an event and participating in an event as a performer are separate things. So I have been very fortunate to have been able to gather in my closer group of Brazilians, I guess, people who are very competent in their projects or in their walks of life, and those people have volunteered their time in order to create these events, which is even better, because now all of a sudden I'm not just one person doing it. There's more doing it, and for everyone that there's another one of Brazilians that are also there, hiding somewhere. But they'll eventually come to the events and see how great this wave is actually.
When did you come to London?
So I came to London originally in 2001. Yeah, 2001. That was the year. Yeah.
So you spent your childhood in Brazil?
Yeah, so childhood spent in Brazil, but right now officially I have more time outside of Canada than in Brazil. But yeah, all my musical influence and the understanding of percussion that I have in the music, a lot came with the fact that I was living in Olinda. And Olinda is a special place in Brazil. It was founded in the 1500s, and it has been a stage of many conflicts and wars and battles of Dutch kicking Portuguese out, and French kicking Portuguese out, and then Portuguese coming back and kicking everyone out as well. So when you go to Olinda, it looks like you're in a piece of Europe in the northeast of Brazil, because everything looks like a bit of Amsterdam. It was Dutch built, to be honest. And in the city of Recife as well, which is the capital. So Olinda and Recife are Olinda is the greater Recife, but yeah, they all have their own cultural and characteristics and strengths in many ways. Olinda was where I definitely gained a lot of music background and understanding for sure. And I would consider myself maybe a late bloomer, because I always prioritize my career and the things and family. And like I said, probably 3 or 4 years ago, that's when things really started, and I felt like I could do something more amazing for the community than just isolate myself or playing for friends here and there for a birthday or whatever. I think the music that I gained and the experience, I think, definitely helped enhance where we are right now with the community.
And I wanted to have this show called London's Hidden Talent, because you don't know when you're connecting with someone in your everyday life what talent they might have or what kind of inspiration they can bring to you. And I think yours is such a great example, because you could be calling someone for support with IT not know that same person grew up in an incredible historic site in Brazil, has been experimenting with music since you're very young, and now you have original music here in our community. Yeah, you have a song on the Latin Roots of London album, as well as the Fusion Roots of London Fusion album. You were nominated this year under the Latin category, the Forest City London Music Awards.
Last year too.
And last year too.
In 2 categories last year. But I love the fact that I got nominated, because, I mean, like I honestly, when I'm on stage and when I'm doing those things, performing, it's the energy is amazing, and I truly feel that's my spot, that I can really perform and create moments or special things in people's hearts and minds with the music, Yeah.
And I think it's important for people to know that it's okay to have a day job that you're good at and that you put a lot of time preparing for and you're very dedicated to. And you can also be these other things. You can be a creative talent. You can be a community builder. You can be a cultural organizer. And we don't have to choose one thing or the other. And you're just such a great example of that. And we actually do have your music video, which was shot in your hometown. What was it like to go back to your hometown and create a video from the song that you wrote and released here in London?
Well, I think the music video in Olinda And I'll give you a little bit of the story behind it. So it was my first time taking Selma, my daughter, to Brazil to meet my family. So that was a very special moment because I didn't want to take her as a baby. I think taking as a baby is a different experience for that child as well. So taking her at an older age, now she knows who the cousins are, the aunts and everybody else, and they have their WhatsApp and they're always on FaceTime, you know. So I think going there with my daughter for the first time was the perfect moment to create that video or the music video that would give someone who's watching a feeling of, oh, look, this is Olinda, or this is, you know, there's a story behind it. Even if you don't understand what the lyrics are, but there's a story behind it if you watch it, right? So that's why I made sure that my daughter was included in that video, because it was her first time there. And the thing about Olinda was the place where I grew up and where I learned all the music in the culture that I carry with me. So a lot of that is a reflection. A lot of that video is a reflection of what the city is and what that represents. So I was very fortunate to be able to shoot the video, because not only was like super low budget, like you have no idea. I mean, I brought some of my equipment with me down there when I was there with the intent to record. But I even told my family and my wife, I said, you know, don't worry, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We're here enjoying it. This is great. And it actually ended up happening with someone like 2 days before I actually shot the video. And he was such an amazing guy as well. And he's so talented. He's also a musician. So recording that for me was also a means of thanking the people here in London that have helped me project my name artistically, locally, and wherever else my music is playing right now. Dario and Mario Circelli from The Office, you as well. You know that I always considered you guys like the powerhouse behind all this movement, with Simple Reflections as well, giving us the opportunity and the exposure to present our work. I think that's just such an amazing thing. So if you watch the video in Olinda, at the very end, there is mention of the Latin roots of London and the people who I really wanted to thank and mention on that video, because without them, it would be really impossible to fathom anything that's happening right now. And I'm just so happy that it is.
I think people who invest in community and in friendships and in family find each other. And there is a really beautiful cultural and artistic community in London, and it's growing. And part of this is that I hope that Londoners who have something to share from their own heart, a talent that they might have, will feel comfortable talking to any of the people that they've seen on this show when they see them out in the community, or reach out to them through social media or on their websites and make connections, because it's by connecting to other people who love community and love culture and love artistic expression that we're able to grow as individuals. And I know that they're going to be inspired by your music video. They're going to be able to see it on this show. You also had it projected at the Latin Street Party for the Fourth City London Music Awards when you played live. And that was it's such a beautiful and powerful thing to see. So thank you for sharing a piece of yourself and of your heart with London, and also with our audience today through your video. And thank you for taking the time to be here today. If people want to learn more about you or find you out in the community, how can they do that? So
they can contact me via Instagram. My handle is Dau Brazil, as in D-A-U, Brazil with a Z. So D-A-U-B-R-A-Z-I-L. And we also have the forró right now, which is amazing that I'm singing forró for people to dance. We were in Toronto a couple weeks ago. So we now have the Trinca de Forró, and then I'll spell it Trincadeforo. So Trinca de Forró, which is the trio of guys that are now playing forró. It's so popular. It's just awesome.
I look forward to seeing that group as well. Thank you so much for taking the time today, Dau.
Thanks, Jenny. I loved it. Thank you so much again.
Hoje vi a foto de cima de fato, de onde eu te vi, amanheci de saudade. Hoje vi a foto perdida em papel, onde eu me perco na medida do céu. Quando você chegou.
Next, we have Luna of Rising Moon Belly Dancing. Luna, originally from Colombia, is the founder and artistic director of the Rising Moon Belly Dance troupe. Luna inspires Londoners to appreciate and practice belly dancing through live performances at local festivals and classes at her dance studio. Luna, thank you for joining us on London's Hidden Talent today. You are from Rising Moon Belly Dancing, and many Londoners will see you out at local festivals, at the London Dance Festival, for example. I've seen you perform at Covent Garden Market and also at Museum London. And I know that you have your dance studio as well. And I'm sure that anyone who has seen you dancing has been captivated by it. It seems to be a showstopper for audiences, no matter what they're doing, even if they're just walking down the street, they see those colors, they hear that jangle, and they stop and they just can't look away. So thank you for everything that you're doing to bring belly dancing into our community and also to get new people interested in it.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful art, and it's my passion. And it's sometimes people have like preconceived ideas of what it is, and when they actually see it, they feel like the difference. It's not just what Hollywood had put in front of our faces. You know, it's a lot more than that. There are many styles, many props, many things that are under the umbrella. Belly dancing is huge, and that's my goal, to really get people to know what it is that we do in belly dancing. And that's why I try to bring different styles and do different things, and also let people know that this is not a dance just that you can only start when you're young, or if you're a certain size, or even if you're just if you're a woman, because men do it as well. So it's very inclusive. You can start belly dancing at any age. You don't need experience. You don't need a costume, nothing like that. You just need the desire to do it. It's and it's a beautiful dance in a way that it just connects you with your body. It's it just puts you in touch with your own body. You learn movement. You learn to do things that our bodies are meant to do. The one thing that always attracted me to this dance is like the femininity, the grace, the elegance of it. And when I bring that into the class, people just feel different. That's the one thing that is special about belly dancing, is it makes you feel like a different person. It gets you to explore yourself. You get in touch with your own body, with your femininity, with this art, with the music that is very different from the music that we have here in North America. So all of those elements put together just give you a feel-good, feeling. And I feel really happy when my students come to me and they're like, the day I come to class is like the best day of the week, because it's an hour that we get to dance and we learn new things, and our mind is so focused on the class that we forget everything that's happening around, any problems, anything that stays out the door. We come in here. It's an hour that is just for us to enjoy. And I also have students that like to perform, and they're the ones that are like, okay, I'm going to take this from the classroom onto the stage. And you can see the change in the person, how it takes a lot to put yourself out there and be in front of sometimes hundreds of people and perform this dance that is full of joy and that has so much beauty in it, without thinking, what do I look like? And, what are people thinking? It's just let the music take you and then go with it.
I know what I'm thinking when I see belly dancers is that they look beautiful. And the clothing is beautiful, the music is beautiful, but also there's something about the fluidity of the movement and likely the confidence that somebody gains from feeling like they look beautiful, even if what they're thinking is about the fabric and the jewels that you have on. And when you say that anybody could do it, I've often thought watching belly dancing that I'm not sure that my body can move like that, especially my hips. They say, your hips don't lie. I don't know. Mine feel a little stuck sometimes. How does somebody come out and then kind of get past that blockage that they might have to think that looks good on that person, but that can't work for me?
Well, it's all about relaxing into the dance. I find that a lot of people will come in with a lot of tension. We hold tension, and sometimes for us women, we're held to very specific standards. You must do this, you must do that. So we tend to go into like this, right? So I see a lot of this, and I'm like, no, relax. Be you, be big, open up, arms open, feel the music, be yourself. There is no judgment here. You can relax into this. Never stress about this. The dance is performed best when you're relaxed into it. Sometimes you see a shimmy happen and you think, oh my God, those hips are working really hard. The movement actually comes through your knees. Your hips are relaxed, they're happy, nothing's happening. You trigger the movement from somewhere else, and it goes on to your hips, and there is a lot of letting go that has to happen for the dance to flow. And it's a process. So for some people, it might take less time to actually reach that stage where they're like, okay, I'm relaxed into it, I'm feeling the music, and my body is moving to it. For other people, it will take longer. So I'm always like, relax, leave any tension behind. Let's work on form and technique, but also work on relaxing and getting into it and not stressing. Not the minute you start holding tension, then your body tenses up and your shimmy gets smaller and things start to like hold it. And I'm like, no, this is a time when you want to be big, you want to be you want to let go. Let's get into it. And the huge difference that happens when people just relax into it, it's they realize that it's not about how it looks. Oh my God, I will never be able to do that. Let's work towards doing that. I often tell my students, well, this is how you shimmy. So every time you're doing your dishes, shimmy. You're brushing your teeth, shimmy. You're doing your hair, shimmy. Just get it into your life. Play the music, get into it, and then you'll feel your body relaxing into it. Another wonderful thing that happens is the health benefits. So it's a bit of a workout. Actually, it can be a very dynamic workout, but without you knowing it, your body starts to, your muscles starts to get better. Like there's a lot of conditioning happening. Some people even lose weight. I never like to promise people that they're going to lose weight because that depends a lot on what you eat. But with the exercise, your body starts to strengthen. The pelvic floor, your arms, your legs, everything is working. We got stuck with that word belly dancing, but in truth, your entire body is working. So you feel the health benefits. It's excellent cardio. So you're having fun, and then you're also getting all the health benefits of it. Your body changes, your mood changes, even your brain gets some workout because you have to coordinate your arms and your feet and your legs and all that. So I always encourage people to keep trying and keep working. And when people say, "Oh, I'm just not very good at it," I'm like, "Well, you're working on it, so you can't be very good at it the first day." If you think about how you were when you first came to my very first class and how you are 8 weeks later, look at everything that you learn. Look at you moving, look at you following the music. That in itself is huge. So just keep working at it. It's something that takes a lot of time. And the more you learn to like it and the more you fall in love with it, the easier it gets. I've been doing it for almost 21 years now. And on my first years, I was one of those people that was holding tension. And I'm like, why can't I do this step after that step? And then I realized, I'm like, why am I stressing like this? I need to just relax. This is fun. And then things started to happen. Then my body started to realize, okay, let's not worry about this. Follow the music and shimmy. And if you make a mistake, no problem. Catch up. So
how did you come to belly dancing for the first time? Were you trained in other kinds of dance, or were you a dancer of some kind?
No, I was just a dancer in my living room. I am from Colombia, obviously. So we learned to do a bit of salsa and merengue and the dances that are, common at the time. Back in my day, it was salsa and merengue. So we learned that in the living room of our house, and we did it very casual. So I don't have, in those forms of dance, I don't have a professional training. But we learned to move the hips, and we learned some of the rhythms. And believe it or not, we do have something that's in common with the Middle Eastern cultures. So having that background was a little bit helpful, although the two dances are completely different. But that helps. And I moved to London about 22, 23 years ago, and I didn't know anyone. I've seen performers, belly dancers, and I always thought, my God, that is beautiful and it's feminine. I would love to learn how to do that. And then when I moved to London, I realized there were some classes through the city. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So I took a workshop, and I was like, I love this. I fell in love with it like right the first class I took. And because I was new to the city, I wanted to have a way of getting to know some people and seeing what was around. And I figured, take a class. That's the best way to learn something new that I always wanted to learn and meet some people. So that's how I got started. And from the time I took my first session, I never stopped. It was just so beautiful. And I was one of those people that, my day when I have the belly dancing class is one of the best days of the week. So
If somebody would like to try one of your classes or see you perform out in the community, what's the best way that they can do that?
Usually Facebook or Instagram. I do have my website, risingmoonbellydance.com. They can go on that page and then just follow. The links are there to follow me on social media. But I also post all the classes on the website. They can register online. I usually host free workshops after the end of each session. So I would say go on the website, sign up for my mailing list, because I do send an email. I never spam. I just send an email saying, hey, classes are coming up or free workshops are coming up. Come and give it a try. Sometimes people are a little shy and they don't know what to expect. So signing up for 8 weeks is a little bit scary. So I always say, hey, just keep an eye on where the workshops are. Come and give it a try. Bring your friends if you like, or come by yourself. You don't need a special outfit. You don't need special shoes. Wear what you will wear to a yoga class, just leggings and a t-shirt. Just come in. Again, no judgments. You can be a man or woman, doesn't matter. Just come to the class, give it a try, and see how you like it. Most people love it, and they will come back. So that's a good way to try the class. And I also, on the website, I also post all the places where we were going to be performing. Social media, I usually do a lot of postings in there. So that's another way, Facebook and Instagram.
I would encourage anyone who's out there and sees you performing on our streets or in our festivals, museums, to come and say hi to you and to ask you any questions they have. You and your students and your co-performers are all very approachable, really lovely people. I've always really enjoyed every time I've gotten to talk to all of you. And I know that you're going to inspire some people to loosen up and just enjoy their body, enjoy themselves, and de-stress, because we all need a little bit more of that. So thank you so much for taking the time to tell us about it. And I look forward to the next time that I see you performing in our community.
Thank you for having me.